Well, good evening, or is it good morning, good afternoon, good day, and maybe for a few of you, good night, but wherever you are, welcome. Welcome to Biz with Joy, leaders leaving legacies. That's what this format is all about. My name is Joy Ruffen. I work as a style and leadership consultant, a signature style specialist, not an image consultant, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. Bear in mind, I have nothing against image consultants, but we're talking two different games, two different angles, two different approaches. Welcome. It's always good to have you here. And every week, while I'm assembling and putting together a lot of newness for you, and I know it's been happening for quite a while, but good things take time, don't they? Of course they do. We birth and we build and we take our time. So tonight I thought I'd talk about something that's timely, it fits, and that's about an old-fashioned words. For those of you who know me, you know that I love, love, love words. And this word is grounding. Grounding, grounding. Well, what the heck does that mean? Well, most everyone knows. And because this is a new format for me, meaning what I've started to do, I love quotes. My hope, my prayer is that you will love them too. So every time I start a broadcast, more or less, I'm going to attempt to share with you some quotes that tie into the title and what we'll be talking about. So we're talking about the real truth about grounding, why grounding is the key. Let me share this quote with you. I love him. I think there's a researcher at heart. There's someone who loves to probe and dig and find newness and excitement. Maybe it's old, but it's new to me. And maybe it will be for you as well. Some of the names of the quotes that I like, the names I've not heard of, I'm not familiar with, I can't pronounce. You'll forgive me. That's why I'll spell them out, because this is one I never heard of. It's by J like in joy. Gurdjieff, I think. It's Gurdjief. Never heard of the man, but I love the quote. And here's a quote. He said, "It's only by grounding our awareness in the living sensation of our bodies that the I am, our real presence, can awaken." Now, why did I choose that one? For those of you who know me and those of you who are getting to know me, working as a style and leadership consultant, for me, it's all about style. It's all about fashion, but connected to style. It's all about your presence, your image, and the power-filled regalness that you want to project, male or female, doesn't matter. So everything evolves around the method, the style, and the technique that you're using. So that's why I bring in these quotes that connect. And when I saw this one, it said, "Our real presence can awaken," it fits. And then the other one that connects, I like it when they connect, they blend. I like to merge, meld, and mingle together things that have significance for us. This one is by Steve Gooder. Love the name. Never heard of him either. Never heard of half of them, but my attempt is always to edify and vet people as much as I can, because all of us want the same thing, more or less. Different styles, different flavors, different flares. But you want to be seen, heard, and you want to be valued for what you're putting out into the stratosphere. Here's what Steve had to say, and I make myself familiar with all of them. "Get yourself grounded, and you can navigate even the," and he spells it out this way, "stormiest roads in peace." This is how he spelled it, STORMIEST. Well, the stormiest roads in peace. Isn't that what we're all searching for, that inner peace? And don't we all want to be about that sense of self-worth, self-love, self-awareness? Who are we? Why are we here? And how do we stand in our greatness and our glory? The key is really getting to know who we are. The grounding of ourselves first. Leadership first with ourselves. Know and manage who we are. The good, the bad, and the so-so. Might be a lot of so-so. Then you get to know it. You become acquainted with it, and you begin to navigate as best you can so that you can manage it, so that it doesn't put you in a bad position or bad spot. Because what we want to be doing, those of us who are in leadership, and by the way, sometimes I get started and I forget, but I never forget in my heart and soul. And I never want you to think that I take you for granted, because I don't. I want to say welcome always, because I know how active everyone is. Completely and totally, most people who are striving and not settling in, working and totally immersed in what they're doing, so that they show up when they can, and when they can't, they take the replays when it's convenient for them. So even if it's for the replay that you come in here now, thank you for being here, because I know how active everyone is. I'm a bit tired of the word busy, because everybody is busy, but busy is a word that can be misconstrued, and I'm a wordsmith in my way. I like to say that everybody's active, immersed, completely consumed with what they're doing, so that it's hard for them at this point in time to make time to maybe go and tune in to people that they like and enjoy and appreciate. I get it. I'm the same way, because many, many people that I love and adore, I'm not able to join them at the time that they're having whatever type of event. But every chance I get, if there is a replay, I will get to the replay at some point in time. So that's why I want to always say welcome. And if you've not familiarized yourself with Joy Ruffen, my website is here. We're always tweaking, but most of the meat and potatoes are there. And I invite you to go there and take a look, peruse through, and see if there's something there that appeals to you. One of the things that my several enjoyments, I'm as I discovered of late, meaning about 4 or 5 years ago, a manifesting generator. And I used to think, people used to always say, focus, focus, focus. Well, focus is for me in a different type of way. I like to do and combine all the different things that I do. And one of the things that I do, that we're doing right here and now, is to interview people. I'm doing this solo, but sooner than later, it will become another interview show. And what I'm searching for and seeking and vetting are those who can come and share with us more about ourselves. That's what everybody wants to know. Some can admit it and some can't. And those who can, who are all knowing, well, we say bless you and we move forward, because most everybody wants to know a little bit more about themselves so they can keep scaling and rising, spiraling to the top. That's what real leadership, or authentic leadership, is all about. So everything is on my website. And then I always like to say, if I can, share this video. Because if you're coming here now or for the replay, and if you're here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Share it out, because we want to build a community. One of my favorite words, building. Birth something and build it into what you want it to be. And you know as well as I do that all of that takes time. And it's about grounding. And so here's the website. It's nice and easy. It's my name. And you can go there. My Facebook business page is here. You can take a snapshot or screenshot, and you can go there. That's where this broadcast will be, and also on many of the other platforms. And now we're going out, not on this particular platform. This one I will change to 137 platforms as soon as I can, working on it. But my Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, which is on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m., it goes out over 137 different platforms. And what do we all want? More exposure. We want to be seen, heard, and known for what we do. The key is to make sure that what we do gives the benefits and the value that the people who need it seek. And sometimes people will experiment, but in that experimentation, let's make that mark. Let's make sure that they want you, because you are the one that they want. Today, driving around, running some errands, I'm listening to, because I'm part of the Clubhouse community. Love the Clubhouse. And if you're not familiar with it, it's an audio platform, but it's a great platform. And it's a great way to, again, build most things that are really good and popular. Everybody that you go back and you read about, we're talking about grounding today and why it's so important. These are words, verbiage, so many different ways to express what you need and want to say. But almost everyone that you go back, that you admire and applaud and celebrate today, don't think that overnight they became a success just like that. It took time. It took a lot of failures, and not necessarily failures. None of us who are in leadership really like the word failure. A lot of mistakes that we corrected as we continued to climb, things that you did that didn't work, so you keep trying new things, all of them without question. And the time frame is irrelevant, but it wasn't overnight, and it wasn't 3 to 5 years. Some of it wasn't even 10 or 20 years. And some of them didn't even get the acclaim and notoriety in the best way that they have today. So, my friends, what I'm saying to you is ground you and make sure that you're on the path that you need to go on, and surround yourself with those who are about your purpose and your mission and calling, somehow aligned and connected to it, where it merges or it mingles and it marries in some way with what you're doing, so that you can be a support for each other, a win-win. Because that's how you grow and scale to what you're here to do. You don't do it alone, no matter how great and phenomenal and fantastic you are. And you are royalty, you are regal and majestic in your way, but yet never, never think that you're going to do anything alone. We all need each other. So what I want to talk about in this grounding and speak about today, because I was listening to this Clubhouse, I wish I'd gotten her last name. I know the name of the house because I bounce in and out as I'm driving, and I don't multitask. Do any of you multitask? When you're home and you're sitting, it's okay, but when you're driving, not so good. So when I'm driving out here and about, running all the different errands that we all have to do from time to time, I tune in and I listen, but I can't participate. But as I pulled into my garage here, I wanted to let her know that now I was not only tuning in, but I was celebrating and applauding her conversation and the comments that she was sharing with us. And her name is Emma. I think it's Lyons, but I'm not sure. But the name of her house is the Hustle House. Kind of like the name, the Hustle House. And she talks about everything that has to do with life, how we grow, how we evolve. And more importantly, what she was talking about today is what we all need more of, no matter how brilliant, gifted, and all the other adjectives that we can use that are aligned with those two. Our own sense of self-worth. How do we really value ourselves? And it's not about the products or the services that you offer. That's aligned and connected. But how do we really feel? Oh, I love the word feel. How do we really feel about ourselves? And is that being projected out in the best way? Because that's so many of us, and I was one, cannot deny it, would not deny it, especially now. Might have several years ago, maybe 10 years ago, but no longer. Because now it's about knowing how to love, infinite, unconditional, limitless love for self. Because you can't give it to anybody else until you have it for yourself. And that's why grounding in whatever we're doing is the key to whatever it is that we're going to be about. And when we feel grounded, we can have those fleeting moments when we're maybe not so sure and insecure and thinking, well, maybe we can pick ourselves back up, because we can realize with a knowing how valuable we are and how much our own sense of knowing who we are is about, and continue on the path of allowing other people to see it and to feel it. And sometimes people can't see and feel it, especially, it hurts to say this because I was one among them many years ago, because they're not awake themselves, have not found themselves, and are not open to it yet. Love the word yet, as opposed to B-U-T, because yet means there are options and possibilities that are waiting, but it's almost like a definitive no. But not now. Yet, not right now. Different sound. Words are powerful, and how we use them, it matters. Most of us who have gone through this pandemic and are still in it, as my friend said the other day, the narrative is still alive. We want to think maybe not and it's over, but trust me, it's still there. And when she said it, it resonated. I said, well, maybe we're at the tail end of it. And maybe we are, but it's still in the stratosphere. So we have to be very mindful. We have to stay safe, whatever that means to us, and be mindful. Like, don't step, if you're in a line, right on somebody's back. Stay the 6 feet. Maybe you don't still have to wear the mask, but be mindful of that. And why am I saying this? Because however we go about it, we're also uniquely the same and yet so vastly different. You get the nuances of that, what I just said. We're all so much the same and yet so vastly different. There is a key there. And I say that to say that most of us who are in leadership, we are thinking about how we can recalibrate, reconsider, and reinvent what we're about in the best way for ourselves and the people that we serve. And how do we reinvent ourselves after this crazy pandemic? And I'm still using the word after because it's still in the stratosphere, but nowhere near as deadly as it was, but it's still there. But how do we program ourselves to step into what's waiting for us? And there is a lot waiting for us, all of us. I use the expression, rather like it. Someone mentioned it to me the other day. And don't you love when somebody says something and you can take it and then kind of make it yours and it belongs to them and then it becomes you and then somebody else hears you and then it just mushrooms. It buds out into the stratosphere. And she said, well, we're all learning how to play again in our playground. Well, that's what we're doing. Most all of us. And how we're going about that, building this new community, another favorite word that we really want. And for me, this is Biz to Biz with Joy. Grow your business in style. Leaders leaving legacies. I started this at the beginning of the pandemic for men and women because leading ladies, leaving legacies, not a sexist, but I wanted to keep that for women to come and share their story, their journey, and their mission, purpose, and what they're about, how they serve people, what value they bring to the people they serve. And then I had several men ask me, well, I'd like to be interviewed. Can you interview me? And then I thought, after working with the mentor that I was working with at the time, she said, well, why don't we do another show? And then I said, well, it's all about business because bottom line, it's always all about business. But business has so many avenues that you can travel down. And the best businesses in the world ultimately will have the profit and the money that they want, but not all are multi-giants like Amazon and Walmart and all the biggies that we know. Yet, it's about bottom line. It's about profit. And it's about people who want to invest in themselves as you invest with them. So it's a mutual admiration society. That's what good business is about because you get the product and you want to make sure it works for you. So when I started Biz to Biz, it was supposed to be business to business for men and women who wanted to talk more about business. And then the pandemic faded out and I wasn't promoting as much men as I do women because my assignment is really to work with women. So what I'm starting here, and you've heard me mention it before, and I think I'll hold back in saying it because I'm still in the process, but it's going to materialize. This I know for sure. I can take a no, but not at this time. And so the timing isn't right, but it's in the works and it's coming. And it will be for cosmic healers and alternative modalities and that full range of however I can arrange to get them here where it's going to be a win-win for us both. So for the people who want to know, because not everyone, I'm going astray here somewhat, but it still connects. Not everyone wants to, when it comes to know thyself, however you go about it, if you're in the spiritual realm, not everybody wants to study whatever that means, but they do want to know more about themselves. And those who are really, really about being serious and grounding themselves to know more about who they are and really pump up that self-love and self-worth where it is authentic, they're going to make that investment in themselves to learn more about themselves because of that insatiable curiosity. These are the people we seek. The stagnant, stay in that lane, don't move, that stubbornness. Oh, I can recognize it. I can sense it because to an extent, that was me. And I say, you can't really move. You can't grow. You can't evolve. You can't climb if you're going to stay in that same position because it works for you for whatever reason. Most everyone that we know and admire, that we celebrate and applaud, they were risk takers at some point in time, maybe many, many times. And then they finally, my friend said to me, so I'm using this verbiage, it's not my verbiage. They finally, I'm saying it, I almost feel, but I'm saying they finally had their mojo. They knew this was it. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. And it began to materialize for them. And that happens to most all of us in any type of leadership. because we all start out maybe thinking it's this, and then we segue here, and then we go here. Maybe we keep a little bit of that, and then finally we navigate to where we're meant to be and to what we're meant to do. So how you go about building your playground is what I want to leave you with. For those of you who know me, you know I love food for thought and direction. No matter how gifted and brilliant we are, most people need a guide and more direction. And how you go about that is how you ground yourself and assemble the right keys, which would be the people and the mentors and the coaches and the guides around you to support you as you support them on their mission. I like to think about, because I grew up with Hollywood, and I love Hollywood. Hollywood is full of a lot of things, and it's all about power, as most big businesses are. So when we talk about grounding, we have to be very much aware of how we're going to be grounding ourselves and what our own sense of self-worth, self-love, and our self-awareness is all about. Because if we're talking about power, and I'm talking predominantly to women, because it's our time, I'm talking about being power-filled, knowing who you are, embracing who you are, and standing in every bit of your power, head to toe, top to bottom, hair to shoes, with whoever you need to be next to. Not to in any way negate or deny anyone. But until we're able to do that, no blame. The blaming is over. It's done. It's time now to step out of that balloon, stop running through the maze, and get away from drinking the Kool-Aid and step into our power. And we can only do that when we begin to really realize our own self-worth. Ground us where we need to be. And every strong male out there realizes that, connects to that, and is waiting for you. Not little boys who never grew into men who are acting as men. We're not looking for them, and they're not looking for us. Not a power-filled lady. So I say that. Now, one of the things I want to mention to you, because it's coming, and that will be, it's far away, but I still want to mention it. And I want you to, if I can find this, to take a screenshot of this, and not that, this. Take a screenshot or a snapshot. I'll be having another masterclass in July. July seems far away, but go and register. And this time around, I'm offering a lot of things that I didn't have at the first time out of the gate. It'll be different, and it'll be much more beneficial for you, because we learn as we go. And because of all of the beautiful ladies who attended, I've gathered together a little bit more data and information that's going to benefit you. So all you have to do is just take a screenshot or a snapshot, and it's all on my business page. It's on my Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies page, and I'm going to make an event for LinkedIn as well. Just go there and register. It's far away, but it's close enough. And the other thing is, what you can do is, if you are not a member of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, and you're out there in the stratosphere, I hope you are. Every fourth Friday of the month, I will be having a Q&A, behind the scenes, behind the curtains. I love the name. Q&A, any and every question or concern that you have about style that connects to fashion. My background is fashion, but I stepped away from fashion a long time ago, because it's about you developing, discovering, and designing your own signature style. Everything's a journey. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, even if you're a fashionista. And I don't particularly care for that word. I use it from time to time because a lot of people think that's what it's about, but that's not what it's about. But if you have some questions and concerns and you're not a member of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, I'm also going to make every attempt to do this as a Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, a Zoom, and attach it into my Facebook group, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, with the Zoom link so you can join me there. It'll be my first time out of the gate. We'll see how it goes. But I would love to have you join me. That's this Friday, the 28th. Can you believe we're at the end of April already? Well, we are. I can't believe it. So this is a masterclass, July the 17th. And every fourth Friday of the month, I'll be posting and advertising it. And you'll be seeing it everywhere. And I'm also doing other Facebook Lives Wednesdays on my business page, Communicate to Influence, because it's all about language and how we use it, how we string our words together. And it is important even today. And then on Joyful Mondays, and that's on my personal profile page, it's everything that has to do with everything. Any questions, anything that comes up that resonates with me during the week, I'll be sharing with you. And the attempt, my friends, is to have you come and join me, to put in your comments, to invite your friends so that we can get to know each other. I'm all about building this community for men and women because we need each other. There is no separation, really, and there's no blame. It's just time for us to know who we are. And we're so much more than what we've been programmed and conditioned to think that we are. And that's where I stand. My attempt for you today was to give you some food for thought, to be thinking a little bit more about grounding and how you're going to challenge yourself in this new era that we're stepping into. You don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to be intuitive. You don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be anything to know that there are big changes in the air coming. And they're all going to impact us, the majority of us, especially those of us who are on the journey of becoming or being awakened to all the greatness within you. You know, I never met Les Brown. I would stumble over the man. I wouldn't, but I would know him. I never met him, but I remember as a young girl hearing him say, everyone has greatness in them. Maybe because I felt mine, not bragging, but I'm saying, I don't know where it's at, but I know something is there. I resonated with the man. And even today, at some point in time before I leave the planet, I plan to be here a lot longer, I would love, and I will meet him. And I have several friends who have met him because that simple statement, quote, whatever, however you want to phrase it, his mantra, his saying, because everyone has greatness within them, it stuck. It resonated with me in the best way. And that's what I want for all of us, men and women, particularly women. Men have always had the power. Nothing wrong with that. Why not? Some aren't going to want to hear this, and some are going to say, not me, I didn't. We just dropped the ball. In almost every generation. I'm a happy senior, but I see it in the younger generation too. They have been programmed and conditioned. So the cycle, that residual, it repeats itself. That has to end. And it ends with us. And it ends with being honest with ourselves about where we stand, where we're at, and how we are utilizing that power-filled greatness within us. And I'm talking predominantly to women, but every great man out there hears, receives, and embraces what I'm saying. So my friends, the real truth about grounding, the key is build your self-worth, your self-love, your self-awareness to knowing who you are, not about your products or your services. They're major, they're important, but first know who you are, why you're here, and what you to do, and love every bit of you, and then share it out with the rest of the universe. The universe is crying for leaders in the worst way. I like to say she. My friends, the time goes here. I don't know where it goes. I say it every week, but I leave you with this. And join me tomorrow night. I have a wonderful business lady who's going to be sharing a lot of tips and tools, nuggets with you that we all need, no matter how knowing we are. Bear in mind that you are your best agent. I send you much, 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 much love from my heart to your heart. Take it in and embrace it. It's sincere and it's authentic. Be well and stay safe. Much love, my friends. Cheers.